coalition of concerned parents, business people, government officials, religious leaders, teachers, and students who are here for one reason. We see a failure of leadership in our district at the very highest level. Because of a lack of training and through no fault of its own, this board seems to have been under the false impression that Mr. Strive controls what happens in this district. Because of a well-placed desire to follow the correct rules and procedures, the board has been misled as to which voice they need to be listening to. While Mr. Strive has, until this moment, controlled all of the information you have received about the workings of this district, his is not the voice that is most important for you to listen to. That voice belongs collectively to the people sitting in these chairs. They are the voices of our community, and they are raised together here tonight to protect our most valuable resource, the children of Silver City. The school board has received most of its information about the health of our district over the last year and a half from one person. Let me point out that he has a vested interest in consolidating and maintaining his power. It is in his best financial interest to keep his employers in the dark and to silence any dissent in the district through any means possible. We need to remember, however, that at its most fundamental level, the running of a school district is not a dictatorship run by a superintendent. It is, in fact, one of the most democratic of processes, where a local school board is elected by the people and is therefore duty-bound to listen to the input of its electorate and to direct the activities of the superintendent according to the community's best interests. Despite what you may have been led to believe, you do not work for Mr. Strive. Mr. Strive works for you. And he therefore works for every person sitting in this room. I am sure the board is aware of at least some of the accusations against Mr. Strive and Mr. Lauji. Are some of them exaggerated? Likely. Are some of them flat out untrue? Undoubtedly. However, given the incredibly serious nature of these accusations, this community demands an investigation. A climate of secrecy and fear has been created in the district this year that has never existed before. Both teachers, special education and ancillary staff, and administrators live in daily fear of retaliation. I believe that even this board may have seen glimpses of this behavior that have caused them to be quiet when they would have otherwise asked questions. This year, in unprecedented numbers, Mr. Strive has removed district staff from their positions and put them on administrative leave while investigating allegations. I suggest the board borrow a play from his playbook. A fair and impartial investigation can only take place if the threat of retaliation is removed. Only then will you have a school district that is willing to come forward and speak the truth. Only then can you get to the bottom of these allegations. The other issue that needs to be addressed tonight is the situation at Stout Elementary involving Mr. Lauji. Many accusations have been leveled at Mr. Lauji, but again, the process has been shrouded in secrecy. The public and even the majority of teachers at Stout have been kept in the dark. This has caused rumors to fester and grow. While I believe that Mr. Lauji's administration would not stand up to the light of public scrutiny of the accusations against him, and while I know that this community demands higher standards of leadership from its principals, I feel obligated to give my opinion that this is not Mr. Lauji's fault. I believe the failure here can once again be traced back to one source. Mr. Lauji was set up for failure from the beginning when Mr. Strive placed him in a position he was not really qualified to hold. He was installed at Stout by Mr. Strive without ever going before a hiring committee. The Stout hiring committee, in fact, had chosen someone else, only to be informed that a man they had never met or interviewed would be the new principal. I know Mr. Lauji cares about kids, and I believe he means well. He simply does not yet possess the skills necessary to fill a position of such awesome responsibility. Mrs. Lauji, on the other hand, seems to be doing an excellent job in her position. Not every teacher, every parent, and every student agrees with every decision she makes, but such is the nature of principalship. I see in her all the hallmarks of a quality leader. She knows she doesn't have all the answers and is open to honest dialogue from staff, parents, and students. She is intelligent, dedicated, and willing to work her tail off for her staff, her students, her school. While it may, from my comments, appear that Silver Consolidated is in crisis, I contend that we are not. We have suffered a crisis of leadership, but we have almost all the pieces we need to correct our course sitting right here in this room. We have 3 very experienced assistant superintendents who are more than capable of carrying on the business of this district while an open and thorough investigation is performed. Ms. Milam, Ms. Martinez, and Mr. Benikis have diligently worked in the best interest of this district for many years, and I have no doubt they would rise to this occasion with their typical competence. They are supported by a wonderful and experienced central administration staff who I know can handle anything that comes their way. We have quality principals leading Silver High, La Plata, 6th Street, Harrison, and Jose Barrios. We have plenty of qualified local talent who would be happy to step forward and take Stout in the new direction it needs to be taken in. We have an amazing, dedicated group of teachers, ancillary staff, and support personnel who have continued to show up at work and do their jobs with all the passion and energy that they normally would, despite the climate of fear and intimidation they have been suffering under. Those staff and teachers who have been wrongfully separated from their employment should be immediately reinstated so that they can continue to enrich the lives of our students. We also have parents, relatives, and a community here tonight that will always rally around our students when things head in the wrong direction. We have state legislators Rudy Martinez and Howie Morales who have and will always put our community first no matter how busy they are. Their advice will be invaluable as we work through this process. We have all of the resources we need right here to take Silver Schools in a new direction. I pledge myself and all of SCEA's resources to rebuilding the vision of our district and the trust of our teachers, administrators, and community. Although I am stepping down as president, I will continue in that role throughout the summer, and I will work tirelessly for the district in any way I can. Leslie Fritz is also here on behalf of NEA New Mexico and has pledged all the considerable knowledge and resources of that organization to the rebuilding process. The final piece to the puzzle is